Salute, salute. Top of the morning. Welcome to another episode of Critical Thinking. I'm a little bit different this morning. There's a couple of things I'm gonna get back to in the next couple of weeks, but do me a favor before you walk in my house, take your shoes off, dust your feet off, sit back and enjoy the ride. And remember, before you leave, take some of these good vibes around to some of these other content creators. Now, for most of y'all that frequent over to this channel for a while, I've been talking about um, the direction that a lot of these platforms is moving in when it comes to what most of us do when we get up here and we talk, no matter what type of content creator you are. And ironically, um, way bigger platform has been talking about the same, something similar to what I'm saying. Now, a lot of people not going to get it. A lot of people not going to grasp what I'm about to say. And some people would be like, "Yo, you shouldn't even you shouldn't even share this." But if it's about everybody, because even if one of us do it, it's beneficial to everybody. You know what I mean? Salute Murph, salute Capo in the building. But moving forward, I'm gonna share my perspective, and I'm gonna let y'all also hear what Joe had to say in the midst of what he um had to say to Charlemagne at the same time. But I want y'all to think about something for a minute, right? Everybody go for the most part when they get on um let's say YouTube for the most part is to become monetized, right? When you reach 1,000 subs and all that shit, that's what everybody wants to do. Which you basically going into a contract with Google/YouTube is what you're attempting to do. Um, this is what I say. I ain't saying I'm ever going to be big enough to even think about doing any shit like this, but for those who are, think about it like this. You get up to your 1,000, you go into 4,000, you go into 10,000, you go into 15,000, right? Most people, they rush into it as soon as they get to 1,000. They want to get a couple of dollars for being monetized, right? But hold on, check this out. What happens if you wait? Don't get monetized when you get 1,000. Don't get monetized when you get 2,000. Don't get monetized when you get 10,000. So on and so on and so on. See, leverage is everything for content creators, right? Because you can get sponsors yourself on your own because they only giving you chump change off of ad dollars they already getting in the first place. You know what I mean? You can get that yourself if your platform is big enough and you know how to actually do this, how to, get up here, perform, do whatever it is you do that you good at on your platform that people come over there to see. You can do all that yourself. Have a little bit more leverage if you decide to be monetized. And see, also what that does is that gets you stuck here. It's no different than a deal. It's no different than some type of 360 deal or whatever that shit is. It's no different than any of those type of things that you go into that agreement with Google/YouTube. It's no difference. Same scenario. But you can actually do this without them, and then you can take that show on the road anywhere. Spotify, uh, Apple Music, anywhere. See, it all has something to do with how you name your shows, how you name your channel, whatever that may be. I'm not on here to tell nobody what to do because I'm too, but I tend to over examine shit. I tend to overly look at shit. Like I read that whole entire agreement that YouTube gives you when you go to be monetized. And it's really not that good of a contract, but you have no way to negotiate the shit. Who the fuck you gonna talk to? But if you make enough noise, and then just imagine this. Now, granted, somebody has already tried to cultivate this idea, but I have been speaking about this for a while now. If few, especially smaller content creators or medium content creators or whatever the fuck content creators, come together and build a network of content, not on one channel, but all these group of content creators are affiliated with each other. Everybody do their own thing on their own individual channels. They come together to do content together and cultivate that throughout. As they get big now, that's a true network, not one channel, but multiple channels coming together underneath one umbrella without anybody being. The key is nobody can be monetized, right? And the reason why nobody can be monetized because you're leverage, building leverage as y'all grow. Now, granted, while you're small, you ain't got no fucking leverage, but the bigger you get, you got leverage. You have say so. Certain shit you speak on opens up sponsors' ideas, and you got to realize what your target audience is that you're speaking to, because it's what advertisers care about. They can contact you directly. Fuck on to YouTube, because the thing about it is, YouTube, Google, those motherfuckers, no matter how big or small your channel is, whether you monetized or not, they are receiving ad dollars off of your videos, especially when it's ones that do very good for the ones who are not monetized yet. Yeah, see, the misconception is people think that the only time commercial shows up in a video is if that person is monetized. That is not fucking true. Depends on how much traction that video gets. Somebody who's smaller can have ads show up a video because that's YouTube doing what YouTube does, using that video for that particular time to make some money. So regardless, they're cultivating and feeding this program all for the smaller content creators back. But I am saying to most of y'all, and I know everybody not even gonna listen to what the fuck I'm saying. Most people, that's some bullshit, whatever. I won't be monetized either. So be it. So be it. I'm just saying this is an avenue that they don't even know it's worth yet. A lot of these streaming services, and they are looking for. Understand me when I tell you this. They are looking for podcasts, fucking whatever the fuck you want to. They looking for it. Google just had that shit just a little while ago. And if Shay was here, she can tell y'all the same thing. I was even going to fill out the shit to enter the contest, me myself personally. You know what I mean? I couldn't find a clip and all that bullshit, so I left it alone. I ain't had the time for the shit. But they was looking for up and coming podcasters. You fill out the little application, you enter the contest. The best, the podcast that they chose won $10,000 towards equipment for your podcast and some sort of agreement with Google at the time, because they started their own guest podcast situation. See, that's how you know that is something in all this. They're not just looking for the people with the names. They're not just looking for them. They're looking at everybody. All of them is looking at everybody. Even the ones that you think ain't paying your channel any mind, they are. A lot of them is even using some of your content and the way your shit look, from the style of it, from some of the shit you say, all that shit. I'm talking about the bigger ones. I'm not talking about the people that people perceive big around here that's not really big. I'm talking about the people that's on all these rappers and entertainers that found a new life and something that a lot of us have already been experimenting on. But again, just sit on this while I go into the intro. Just sit on it. Just think about it. Fuck being monetized. Build your shit up. You can cultivate those mark those sponsors yourself if your channel becomes big enough without any of those pennies off of a dollar that YouTube actually offers you. Just think about it. Just set that right there. Just think about that a little bit. Just think about that. Now we go into the intro. And before I start, as always, before I go into the actual intro, I want to laugh this morning, so I want to share one of my favorite episodes of Boondocks yet again.
Just mad cause your ass is old, motherfucker. First thing you do is just pick up the phone.
Eat a dick, nigga.
Living next to your home, motherfucker.
Right.
Grandpa, old nigga, it's on.
Oh, motherfucker. Lethal interjection versus what? Oh, nigga. He picked up the phone, now my finger's on the trigger.
Yeah, you're only making things much, much worse.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're only making things much, much worse.
Oh, hush, boy. I can rap. Big Tank, please make it hot, player. Yeah, this rap go out to Punk-nificent in all his fame. Yeah. Oh, punk-ass Nificent never went to high school. That's why he's a mother fool. Mama was a fool. Daddy was too. You wanna be like Thug-nificent, don't go to school, fool. Yeah.
This motherfucker went to YouTube?
Notice?
Face. Knowledge bone. What the science, baby?
They said it was all about knowledge. They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
Boy, you know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
Salute. Good morning, Miss Evelyn. I'm doing okay, not feeling too good. Think I got like a stomach virus or something. Doctor said this morning it could be contribute to my blood pressure. That's why I'm feeling a little nauseous. But I'm okay. Mentally, I'm okay. Physically, but obviously, Joe been kind of talking about this on another level of it. Here and there, I guess, and him and Charlemagne have had some issues when it comes to this, because what happens a lot of times is that as a creator and as a overthinker, you tend to look at things a little bit differently, and when you try to share that with people, people take it for whatever it is, and sometimes people look at it like you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know good business, or you don't want the bag, or whatever it is. Yeah, thinking about it in the concept of this, and a lot of people call themselves good businessmen or good businesswomen or good business people. But if you are, then you want actual ownership. Then what matters more is what's on the back end and what's not given up front. Because see, that's the mistake a lot of people make. People run around and they chase the bag. Bag doesn't last but for so long. But if you own, outright own. Because believe me when I tell you, It is a way. It is a way. And they know it. And they trying to figure it out. That's why this is like a small window for creators to actually get on it before they actually figure it out. But it is a way for anybody, any of us, big, small, whoever, as long as you have a following and as you grow. It is a way to get publishing for this shit. And they're going to figure it out because that's where the true money lies. That's why streaming services is getting involved so much into it, because for so long, people have done these things with the idea and ideology behind it of just being monetized. But if you actually look out there, it is a few who's not. That's pretty big. That are moving on with the help of their fan base and sponsors. But anyway, I'm gonna let Joe try to say it somewhat his way, and then I'll give a little bit of commentary on what I'm trying to say to some of the content creators that's out there. And as I say this, I'm not saying that anybody got to do it with me and got to be on my team and that. I'm not saying that. Not saying that at all. I think the more people that attempt to try it and do it, rather no matter how many of y'all it is, and I don't have to be included in that shit, just as so somebody does it out there, it will help everybody in the long run. Because again, they're going to figure this shit out. This is the only time in history where you're going to have actual content creators and controllership. But what happens is a lot of people give up that control because they want to be monetized, and you don't have to do it that way. But anyway, here go Joe. As soon as I found my bad, y'all, I'm supposed to be prepared. Oh shit, here you go right here. I'm supposed to be prepared. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back just a little bit. Now, little bit background on this for y'all that don't know. Joe started this particular podcast many years ago. Joe also was on Complex, hired by Complex for a little while as a vendor. He didn't really work for them. He worked with them. He was a vendor for them. So was academics at that particular time. He left Complex. He also had took this podcast over to Spotify. He left that deal. The reason why he left that deal is because of what I'm saying. Because he wanted ownership. He didn't want to hand over ownership. He wanted ownership. That's it. Because if you gonna call yourself an actual good person, fuck negotiating the money up front. The money on the back end that they make is the true negotiation. They will wave pennies in your face, so they make majority of the real money on the back end. That's how this shit has always worked. That's how entertainment works in general. So when you sign that, for all my people that preach the shit about the people and demand this and demand that, if your channel is fucking monetized, then you in business with the so-called man. So let's pump our brakes with that. Come on back down to reality a little bit and understand this. If you hold off, not sign that shit, it could be a much bigger bag waiting for you. Much bigger bag. Just gotta understand how to cultivate the shit. Take my Blood of the Prince, right? I don't want to say too much, but he already got merch um, with the cigars and guns. As his channel grows, if he start once he start talking about those um, cigars and those different types of cigars, he don't need YouTube to cultivate um, those situations for him. It's being monetized shouldn't be the goal for everybody. It should be to build your channel up big enough so that sponsors pay attention to it on their own based upon what your target audience is. Now, here go Joe. A lot of people say Joe is crazy and Joe don't do good business and da da. But to me, because kind of saying the same shit that I've been saying for a while since I've been doing this. Even though I've been told um, from plenty of different people, your channel will never grow that way, da da. This is the way you're supposed to do it, da da, all that other shit. I'll tell you something. Thank you to everybody that has subbed over the last 3 or 4 days. Appreciate it. But anyway, Hagel Joe.
Black voices. I want us to participate in the revenue streams. And know who they have to talk to? Us. You know what happens when an ad dollar comes in here? I'm busting it down. You get paid. You get paid. You get paid. You get paid. Everybody get paid. Everybody get paid. Stop talking to me like we're trying to do the same things. You may want to amplify Black voices. I want us to participate in the revenue streams, the back end. It's questions that you'll never have the answer to because you have never realized what modern renovation is. This is a radio company attempting to get into the radio techie business. You know what it means? It means y'all are behind a little bit. What y'all are attempting to figure out, I have been on for at least 2 and 3 years. Why do you think we're not invited to the iHeart Awards? You think they don't like us?
No, Breakfast Club is one best podcast for like 5 years.
Do you think it's personal? I challenge everybody out there. Listen, are you participating in the ad money, which is how America is driven, or are there benchmarks for you to get it?
Now, again, think about what he just said. Now, granted, he sounded a little bit different than I am. I didn't even know he was talking like this, but it's nice to see that somebody else is thinking the same way that I have thought. The revenue streams and the ad money that when you become monetized, you are agreeing with in contract with YouTube that you'll get a little piece of that money while they get most of it. Now, if you don't ever go into that agreement, they're going to get theirs regardless, right? Now, I'm not saying everybody is in the position to do what I say. Get your bag, do whatever it is you got to do. Get your bag. I'm not telling nobody they should not get a bag if it's an opportunity there to get a bag. But sometimes the opportunity outweighs the bag long term. Long term. You content creators that run across this, just think about what I'm saying and research it yourself. Look into it yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Don't just take Joe's word for it. If Capo's still here, she can tell y'all, she can confirm that I've been talking about this for a while, for a minute. Saying something I made up this morning or yesterday, or because somebody else already trying to do the network thing. I've been saying this, except for My vision is a little bit different because it doesn't include the monetized part as of yet at the beginning. Not as soon as you get to the 1,000. No. Hold off. Chill out. Don't go rushing and being monetized as soon as you get to 1,000. Build that baby up. Build it up a little bit. You know what I mean? But you can cultivate those. You can cultivate that shit on your own. You can build your platform up on its own, still using this particular service, and take that show on the road anywhere to any one of the other services after you build that name up. After you build it up and get it to the point where it's starting to draw traction, like real traction. Not that other type of traction, but real traction. Where those people start wanting to reach out to you, then that's when you start having certain conversations, because that filling out that little monetized shit too early or at all might not even need that after a while. You can make on your own, if your channel is big enough, you can make damn near 9 figures just off of sponsors and cultivating your own advertiser deals on your own. On your own. I've been looking at this shit for a while now. Granted, I'm not saying I'm ever going to be able to do it, but somebody out there, somebody that's in position or possibly end up being in a position where they channel one day, that shit will be beneficial to everybody. It changes the game because it's only going to be a little while where content creators are actually going to be in control of what they do. You lose a little bit of control of that when you go into that agreement with Google/YouTube. But back to Joe.
If there's a benchmark for you to get it, newsflash, sorry, you might not get it.
Keep moving it.
We're going to cross-collateralize this. Hey, this money is over here to the radio station. We don't value fucking podcasting. Everybody is looking at podcasting projections and figuring out an end. Stop it. You know what Joe is doing? Hey, if Rory's putting out an album on Def Jam, why the fuck he can't put it out on Universal? Why he can't put it out on Epic? Why he can't put it out on Sony? It's unfathomable. Why? Because they already wrote the rules? No. They're going to call everybody crazy. They're going to call any nigga crazy that challenges status quo. Mia Moore was there. Mia Moore was at 18th Street basketball court with Brandon Jennings. While Brandon Jennings was saying what, Moore? I'm not going to college. Mm-hmm. I'm going overseas. I don't have to do it that way. Remember?
Yeah.
That nigga was in the news clippings every day. What was they saying? He's a fucking nut. Hey, LeVar Ball. Triple ball or sneaker, whatever the fuck the name of that shit was. Remember? Anybody remember? Anybody remember? Was anybody outside?
I copped.
Me too.
No,
I haven't received a sneaker yet.
Neither have I.
I haven't received a sneaker
yet. By
the
way, that shit was like a stack.
Hey, you know what everybody said? Know what everybody said?
I wanted to support that idea.
Why is this black ass sneaker charging $500 for a sneaker? You fucking idiot, Andy Schultz. Hey, right this second, forget about back in the day. Right this second, Louis Vuitton is selling monogrammed face masks. The plastic face masks. Want to guess the number? You guessed it, even though you didn't. It's like 1,200. Hey, don't nobody say, hey, Louis Vuitton is bugging for this monogram shit. All you did was put the L next to the V. Nobody is saying that. I will not allow these fucking white devils to say Joe is overcharging for something Joe owns. I can't. No. I can't. I know it looks crazy. I know it looks nuts. I know it sounds unfathomable, unimaginable. Hey, when homeboy, the number one college player right now, is saying, yo, we can go to HBCU. Mm-hmm. You know what modern media says?
He's crazy.
The fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You have to funnel this money through college, through us, white colleges, so we can do something. Hey, and when that number one athlete says, yo, it's not only me that can do it, y'all. Mm-hmm. All of the top athletes can go to a HBCU. Mm-hmm. Know what happens with the money then? It's ours. We spend it how we want to spend it. Hey, some of y'all wasn't outside. Rory wasn't born. Do you want me to tell you about the talk when the first nigga said, you know what? No college. I'm skipping it. I'm going to the league.
I was born.
Go back. But you don't know what they were saying.
Of course not.
Go back. Mo, you was outside. You remember, right? Yeah. They called niggas crazy. Yeah. Joe's not crazy, is my point. Let me wrap this up because I dragged it too long for Rory. Joe is not crazy. Go to your senior level executive staff and say, what is publishing and is there publishing for podcasting? And tell me about the answers you get.
See, that part right there. Now, friend of mine, she sent me this clip. She sent me a clip of this little part right here, and she was like, "This motherfucker sound like you. You've been saying the same shit you've been saying. You need to listen to this." So I figured I'd do a show about it because maybe people would hear it better if it's coming from somebody else. I don't know. And granted, he's talking about it on a much bigger scale than I'm talking about it, but I'm talking about the potential of having that mindset from the beginning, because it is a way to receive publishing dollars from this shit. But I am telling y'all, when you go into that agreement on this platform with that, you lose leverage for that. Now, granted, it's people that make money on here. I'm not talking about anybody that we know around these parts, but those little prank people, they make money on here. They didn't create it, cultivate a lifestyle for themselves off of this particular platform. Now, just imagine if them ones that have those 5 and 6 million subscribers had the mindset of not even thinking about becoming monetized, how much more of those ad dollars and sponsored dollars would be theirs? Do they have some that they end up doing on their own? Yeah. But they would have a lot more leverage if they never came into that agreement in the first place. For a lot of people, and I've been told from the onset, from a lot of different people, that you're not doing this right. That's not how you do it. Sound like the same shit Joe was just saying. I'm told no, that's not how you do it. This is the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it like this, and you're supposed to do it like that. At the same time, people steal your ideas. But anyway, but I've been told this ain't the way you're supposed to do it. Right? That's what I've been told. But who's to say you can't do it the way that I'm doing it? If everybody's doing this shit the same, everybody and their mother's doing this shit exactly the fucking same. And somebody comes along with somewhat of a different formula. And some of that was to be able to analyze my own shit and analyze my own audience. And then on the onset of that, also understand that they can own the particular channel that we in agreement with. But what they can't own is the name of the motherfucking shows I create. See, you can have the idea, the network idea, that'll work for anybody if done correctly. It'll work for anybody. But the part that's missing is the show names. You have to know, and give an identity. See, that's the part that's important, and that's the part that I want to explain to anybody that plans on even attempting to do what I'm saying. If you're going to take the idea, you got to understand the idea first. You just can't take it. Just can't take the idea. You got to understand it. Because, see, it has to have an identity. The shows have to have an identity. They can't be the same, even if it's you. They can't be the same. They got to have an identity. They got to be able to identify that it's a difference between this one and that one. Now, you got to be creative in order to do that. Just can't title something and start talking. Has to have an identity. Now, moving forward, now granted, I know a lot of people going to run across this and say Street wild and Street don't know what the fuck he talking about. He a newbie to this shit. We all know what the fuck we're doing. We've been doing this way longer than you. Cool. But the day is going to come along to somebody, probably not me, but somebody is going to do that shit, and then everybody going to be like, whoa. We always miss an opportunity on certain shit. We miss each generation ends up with a boom and an opportunity or something. When the fucking internet boom happened, that shit created a lot of fucking millionaires. A lot of them. And a lot of us miss that opportunity. This marijuana shit, in the next 10 to 20 years, is going to create a lot of millionaires. It is a company right now based out of California, and Miss Evelyn is here. She more than likely can co-sign this for me, and y'all can look it up yourselves. I can't think of the name of the company, but it's owned by some brothers. All they do is make the actual containers, the plastic containers, the bags, the whatever symbol that people want on it, for each one of the dispensaries they deliver to. And they then cultivated that shit into a $1 billion company. We miss out on shit. Now, back to this shit. Within the same space as this, and again, it's a small window. It's a small fucking window. But if you go into this shit with the mindset of fuck being monetized right now, when I get to the 1,000 subs, fuck it. When I get to 2,000, fuck it. When I get to 10,000, fuck it. When I get to 20,000, fuck it. Because you able to bring in that amount of people in that audience on your own. You can also have the discussions with those same ad people on your own and move forward that way. That 360 deal that you sign, because that's ultimately what it is. I don't know if any of you creators have actually read that agreement with this platform that you make when you become monetized. That is a fucking 360 deal. And then they have ownership. They can take your shit down whenever they want to. If you don't abide by the rules and all that bullshit. And for most of y'all that do just only live content, listen to me. Take it from me. Record your shit. Hold on to your shit. That's yours. That's not theirs. That's yours. Record your shit, not just for them, but for yourself. Where if anything ever happened, you still have those videos. You still have them. And you can put them anywhere else, because understand and believe, everybody in their mother, every streaming service, Twitch, fucking Caffeine, YouTube, Apple, Google, Spotify, and it's a couple more. It's like Spoon and all these other shits. Every last one of them is in the podcast game. It is real ad dollars within this shit. And right now, they trying to figure it out. This is a new space, a fairly new space. No matter how long a lot of y'all believe y'all been doing this shit, for them, it's a new space. Fucking record labels even trying to get in on it. It's a new space. Understand it. Understand, by it being a new space, it ain't no certain way to do this shit. It's not. Everybody just believe it is, but it's not. Now, granted, technically, yeah, when it come down to certain things that you got to do as far as for the algorithm, yeah, that part of it. But most of y'all don't even have that part together, or to even understand how the algorithm works. Some of y'all that's way bigger than me, would do better within the algorithm if y'all understood how it worked in the first place. If y'all understood how to title, what to actually put in the description box, and how to tag. This is how the algorithm knows how to place you in the YouTube world. And the reason why some of y'all never touch outside of it, y'all don't really have to fight over the same, as they say, 10,000, 20,000 subs that's around the area that y'all in. It's a whole lot more people. It's millions and millions and millions and millions of people that's a part of the YouTube landscape. So it y'all do works for that shit, but not if you looking to move to another stratosphere. Now, some have all that other shit figured out. The Pharaohs, the Hassans, and the rest of them. They know the strictly hip hop. They know how the algorithm works. They don't need anybody's help on that standpoint. That's why they are where they are as far as subs is concerned. But again, what I'm saying, and some of what Joe is saying, is hold on to your leverage. If you're going into this to become monetized, fine. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind or anything like that. I'm just trying to give people a different way of looking at it from the onset. Just trying to give you a different way of looking at it. I know a lot of different people say a lot of different things. A lot of different people give their advice on how this thing should be done. I'm just saying that it's more than one way to do it, and you can try different ways of doing this shit. I'm not even saying that my way is the right fucking way. Who knows? I don't even know. I'm experimenting with this shit. I'm doing this shit this way. The concept of different shows for a reason and to see something. And I like the freedom of that. You know what I mean? Some people get stuck where they can't just I can shut this one down and come back up here underneath a Generation X TV moniker, radio, and talk about hip hop for the next 2 hours if I felt like it. I could do that. I can shut that down and pull up Battle Rap Matters podcast and talk about battle rap for the next 2 hours if I feel like it. I can shut that down, bring up Block Talk Radio, and talk about whatever the fuck I feel like talking about within that hour time span. Each one of those, now granted, my channel ain't that big, but each one of those, my core audience watches. Some more than others. The rest of the people come and watch also, but the freedom of being able to do whatever it is I want to do while I'm up here feels good. I can do whatever it is I feel like doing. It's no expectation from the people that frequent here for me to get up and perform in a way that's not me. I don't have to do that. I enjoy that. But again, just think about it. Just a little bit of thought. Think about it. Any of you creators out there, just think to yourself. And some of y'all who are monetized, think to yourself. With what you're bringing in AdSense wise right now off of what you do on here, how much more that could be potentially in the future if you never went into that contract with them and down the line, because look at what they're giving you. Think about how much they're getting from that particular advertiser. Ads cost a lot. Understand what people are willing to pay if you can generate the right amount of people to your platform, what people will be willing to pay to present their product to those people. So if you are for the people, by the people, all that shit, you can't run around and talk about the man this and the man that, and you in agreement with the man without owning and standing on the shit on your own. That shit has always been weird to me. I think of it differently now. For all of you that say that shit, like people like to get on their platforms and say that they this and they that, and everybody else this, and y'all work for the man. If you monetize, you working for the motherfucker too. And there's nothing wrong with that, but then don't say that dumb shit out your mouth. You can't say that at that point. Because on the business side, when it came to this, you wasn't thinking about the business side. You wasn't thinking about it from a business aspect. You wasn't thinking about it in the aspect that I can do this anywhere. As long as I can point my audience to where I'm going to be. It shouldn't have to just be this. And that's what I'm trying to say. I believe that's what Joe is trying to say. If you do this right, you can do this shit anywhere. If your audience truly fucks with you, that's the part that's important. If your audience truly fucks with you, you can do this anywhere, any platform. Only thing they have to know is where to find you. But for some of y'all that's already way bigger than I am, you gotta ask yourself, and you should be able to experiment with this on your own. You should be able to see it. Do my audience fuck with me or fuck with what I'm talking about? And you can do this clearly on your own to see. You can do all this experimenting on your own. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, before I close out, I won't bore everybody. I won't hold everybody too long. So I'm really not feeling good at all. But I did wanted to get this message out there this morning. I did want to tell this to the rest of my fellow content creators. Whether a few of y'all fuck with me or not, whether any of y'all run across this or not, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, first off, it's not just enough to take the idea. You got to understand what the idea behind it was. And the idea behind it was to actually have true ownership. That's what the idea behind the network shit was true ownership for all that's involved. And nobody can be monetized within that. Nobody can get monetized too early within that. You got to build it up so you have leverage. So you draw the attention from the advertisers before they even start talking to Google. That takes patience. That takes time. You understand me? That takes patience. That takes time for the people in the back. For anybody to tell, by the way, I decided to build this platform myself, which is the true organic way, the true hard way. Please, for the rest of y'all, stop saying that shit, because that's not the hard way. This is when you're not doing the status quo, when you're not doing what the fuck everybody else is doing. when you standing 10 toes down on your own morals and integrity and doing the shit the way you want to do it. That's different. That's not the same. It's easy to cultivate a channel around beef. That's easy. I could do that shit in my sleep. That's easy. To get up here and talk about another motherfucker and analyze what the fuck they said and put a bunch of names in the title and cultivate a whole bunch of people, that's easy. That's easy. What the fuck I'm doing over here ain't easy. Salute Studi. What the young king doing over there is not easy. That's not easy. It's dedication, and you gotta like what the fuck you doing first to get up here, do this, and know that too many people ain't coming past that shit. But eventually, the people that's supposed to get it will get it. See, few of y'all just get up here and y'all say the shit, but stop. Please stop saying that. You motherfucker, you can believe all you want that you did it the hard way. No. Try doing that shit this way. Try doing it this way. Try it. Try doing it this way. That even when you got an issue with somebody, you don't put their name in the title. And you don't even say their name on your channel. You just talk. This shit is the true hard way. It's the organic way. And I wouldn't have it no other way. No other way. People gravitate towards it that end up running across it and fuck with it because they fuck with it. Not because it's about another motherfucker. Because then you can't tell why they really there. And maybe some of y'all don't care. But how can you tell who's there because of you? Who's there because of what you're talking about or who you talking about? But again, back to what I was saying, even that shit, even with that shit, even with each and every one of y'all that participate within that beef, drama, whatever the fuck you want to call a sector, for each one of y'all could have ownership of that shit. But see, everybody runs to be monetized too quickly. But y'all could own that shit. And again, my advice to y'all that do nothing but live content, record your shit yourself. Not just for this company. Record it for yourself. Record it for yourself. Read that contract that y'all, everybody go back. All of you motherfuckers that's monetized, go back and actually read what you agreed to. Read that shit. And think to yourself, could I have waited? And could I have done this on my own? They the catalyst, yeah. But you got the content. And if you could wait out and just build your leverage, those same people would have been forced to just reach out to you, not the people who you supposedly in partnership with. Because they like to call it the partnership program. That's not a fucking partnership. That's a 360 deal. That's what that shit is. As the homie Dice would say, that's a 360 deal. I find that shit funny, but when you read it, that's what it is. a 360 deal. I ain't the best that do this shit on here, but you can't tell me I'm not. Can't tell me the fuck I'm not. I think I'm the best at whatever the fuck I do. That's why there's no way a motherfucker can get me to follow what they do. I can't get on here and do what everybody else do. I can't do that shit. And I wouldn't try to tell any other man what the fuck to do. Do your shit, Slime, do you. Because I'm damn sure going to do me, because I don't know how to be no fucking body else. I don't know how to. But I'm just giving some of you creators something to think about. Don't give them all of your shit at the same time. Slow down a little bit off of that shit. Slow down a little bit. Don't give them all of your shit. And when you do your live content, take that shit back down. Make sure that you hold on to some of that shit as much as possible, because if people fuck with you, you'll be able to do this anywhere. And like I said, with the Young King Studios working on, I hope most of y'all can put your egos to the side and y'all dependence on this shit and actually listen to what the Young King got to say. Because I think that's another way of ownership. See, motherfuckers get on here and they like to talk about shit. They like to say certain shit, and all that shit sound good. But again, what I am proposing, which sounds a little different, which you'll hear 1,000 motherfuckers say, that'll never work. How the fuck do you know? I take chances. That's what the fuck I do. I take chances. You can't be successful without taking fucking chances. A fucking baby bird would never fly if they were scared to jump off that motherfucking branch at first. They would never know if they could fly or not. So even if I fucking fail doing it, somebody else might figure out a better way off of my motherfucking mistake. See, you motherfuckers like to talk like y'all want to help people. Talk purpose and all this other shit. Y'all like to talk that shit. But not cultivating or talking about any formulas when it comes to this shit. Just giving people the usual shit and what's supposed to be the usual way of doing this when it's not. It don't have to just be that way. I would like to see everybody platform grow. I'm not saying that just to be saying it. I'm talking about even the motherfuckers that don't like me. I'd like to see everybody's shit grow. Because creators being in control, I like that shit. The problem is a lot of the creators don't even realize that the leverage and the control that they could possibly have moving forward. They don't even understand it. They don't see it. They can't see the bigger picture. Because when people find out that you can make whatever off of this and YouTube will pay you whatever on the 21st of each month, people become obsessed with that and not obsessed with what they can make on their own. Those same advertisers will reach out to you. And you'll have a big, but they don't need to reach out for you if they can talk to your business partner. They don't need you. You could be sitting right there on the screen with a can of whatever, an energy drink or whatever, this or whatever, an unboxing of a whatever product or whatever. You can do that. Spotify and Google, all these motherfuckers running around looking for podcasts like a motherfucker. take yourself right on over there and still leave that shit over here, as long as it has an identity. See, that's the key. Like, your shit needs to have an identity. It ain't enough just to talk about a network. It has to have an identity. Everything has to have its own individual identity. You're absolutely right, Young King. But see, people like to talk that shit. People like to talk about it. Now, I'm not saying I got the blueprint on this shit. I'm trying to figure it out myself. But with the right collective together, somebody will figure the shit out. I'm just putting the idea out there. We got, if you just think about the shit. Like, I look at all them little prank motherfuckers. You got one of them that's up to like 7 million subs now. Think about the money that YouTube is making off of them. But they don't know no better, and they made a nice living off of that. I'm not saying this is for everybody, because it's not. It's not for everybody. Some people are comfortable with somebody else taking care of everything for them. And the only thing I need to do is create. Creators like to create. A lot of time, creators don't want to deal with all the business shit. A lot of creators not good at business, and that's fine. A lot of them are not. I'm just proposing a different way of doing this shit that everybody believe that it's a blueprint to. And the reason why I'm just sharing it with everybody, because it seems like people want to just take my ideas anyway. That it's 100% proof that I said the shit first, and I'm going to stand on that shit, and I don't give a fuck who don't like it. All that network talk shit, I've been said that shit months ago. Months ago. Now, anybody that frequent over here know that shit. I said that shit months ago. You can take it all you want. You can have it. But if you don't know the concept behind it, you don't know how to implement it. That's why I'm giving you the rest. This for free. This free game. I'm going to give you the rest. But it's one key element in that is already fucked up. Is you can't be monetized too early. Can't be monetized too early. You can't do that shit. You can't do it too early. You lose leverage that way. But anyway, it still might work that way. I don't know. It's when all the shit came to me, it was just different. That's why I do the shit the way that I do it. And Capo know this shit. It's the reason why I want her to start back doing content. It's the reason why I reach out to people the way that I do. Because it's power in numbers. But see, it's always hard for us to come together for shit. We rather take from each other than to give credit to each other. That's what we rather do. We rather take than to give credit and then try to act like that shit was our own original thought. I'm not, no. Like I said, you can have it. I ain't upset about it. But at least do it right. At least do it underneath. Make sure everything has its own identity. Because that's the part that's important. Make sure everything has its own individual identity. So that way, when somebody goes there, they know exactly what this is. It has a different look, a different feel. It's a different topic. It's a different everything. You can put it under there. Okay, Miss Evelyn, I will. I sure will. So I know that ever since like last night, it started like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Not feeling well. My youngest daughter, she been sick. She got like a stomach virus, but she been sick for a couple days now. Which my ex-wife took her to the hospital the other day, and you know what they wanted to do, right? You know the first thing they want to do, even though she ain't got no fever, no nothing. You know what they wanted to test her for. But that's a whole nother conversation. I'll tell you on the back end, Studi. But you know, and you know, sometimes they say with some shit, great minds think alike. But that motherfucker ain't think of that shit on his own. I know for a fact that ain't where that shit came from. I've been waving my hand and talking that shit for the longest fucking time. But see, motherfuckers bigger than you act like they don't see you, but they see you. They like to act like you don't exist or they don't watch your shit. Motherfucker, yeah, you do. Especially when motherfuckers start saying the shit that you done said. The way you would have said it. But I'm flattered. But that's not even what this is all about. Free game. If you take one part of it, you need the whole package. You need the whole idea behind it, and then the why. See, the why is you build up something that's strong enough to garner its own platform. You know what I'm saying? You build up something that's strong enough to where these motherfuckers, those phone calls is a little different, where those emails is a little different. You got Revolt emailing you, and motherfuckers like that should be like, we can really, like, seriously, people, seriously. And I know a lot of y'all believe, oh, this is YouTube and then YouTube, and why y'all do YouTube this, and y'all like to run around with this narrative that this can't be nothing, which I don't understand. I don't understand that, because it can be. People like to be entertained in all different types of ways. People just do. People love entertainment. People also gravitate towards certain people for whatever reason. People just do. Some people are charismatic. Some people give good information. But everybody is not a creator. See, the problem with creators is we overcreate. And we don't know how to tone it down. We overcreate. If I wouldn't have stopped myself, it'd be 10,000 shows on fucking Street Knowledge, Tony Black's fucking channel or page. See, I don't even like to call it a fucking channel. You know what I mean? I don't even like calling it that shit. But and I just would. I come up with all these ideas all the time. Like what me and the Prince did the other day, that everybody's coming by and they saying something about it, people saying something about it on other platforms or whatever. That idea I had from the moment me and him had our first conversation. From the first conversation when me and him had our first disagreement. See, different from y'all think about content in a total another way. Y'all have a disagreement with somebody, you want to turn it into a fake ass beef. No, I wanted to turn it into a fucking show. Two people that obviously have two different points of views on different topics discuss those fucking topics. I did the same thing on internet radio. See, I did this before, just not on here. I used to do internet radio. Me and my little brother. Dante was even on a show or two. And y'all could only imagine how that show was. We've been knowing each other for 30-something years, and we ain't never fucking agreed on 85% of anything when coming to certain shit. So it was an amazing fucking show. The emails that came in from that show was fucking outstanding. Like that's how creators think. Creators think that way. So you motherfuckers that think y'all content creators are not. Because y'all worried about getting the shine on your own. It's not about that. It's about what you create getting the shine, not you. That's why I don't really give a fuck who and what takes from me, because the creation gets the shine. The creation gets the shit. Not me. What I created did. Like I like that shit. It's a way of doing this shit. Like I always said, and I'll say this on air, because hopefully somebody take it and they do it. I don't know. I know everybody does commentary on what goes on around on YouTube, right? Everybody does commentary on it. It's different shows. Is what's his name has a show. Diva has a show. Everybody has a show where people discuss certain things that go on around in these YouTube streets. Me and Roll even did one just recently. And that's only because I even gave that a name. I mean, because that's just what the fuck I do. But anyway, the person who, I want to make sure that I explain this properly, so if anybody out there does it this way, they can do it the exact way that I'm talking about and maybe add their own flavor onto it. The person that can take the best storylines that's going on around on YouTube and cultivate those storylines within a package, 15-minute, 20-minute package, without them ever even speaking. And I'm not talking about because it's a couple of different people that do the video clip thing and the edit thing. I'm not talking about that. That's something totally different. I want to make that clear, because that was an awesome idea that those people did also. See, that's how creators think. But a level up from that is to put it in a package to make it make sense to people. A lot of people don't have a lot of time to go around and watch all these different platform holders. And then there's a lot of people that have affiliations with certain people that don't go over here, go over there. But if somebody could sit around and take the time out and put these different storylines together, where it originally started at. Like if something starts over here on this particular platform, say like right now, I had a panel, I'm talking about this, I dropped the link. A couple of people come up here, Studi comes up here, me and Studi have a disagreement today. Tomorrow, I go live and I start going in on Studi. Studi go live the next day while I'm live at that time and start going in on me. Everybody might not catch that, but the person, if they was there, and they recorded the origin of where it happened, the highlighted parts of what I said, the highlighted parts of what Studi said, and put that together in a package. That would do better than some of you channels. I'm just saying, it just would. It would actually do better than some of y'all channels. And be careful about how much y'all record. Y'all know some of these people flag down people shit, which I never understood. But anyway, moving on to the next part of that. Somebody could do a fucking top 10 every fucking week. Top 10 moments around this motherfucker. put it in a package, never say nothing. Just put the moments up there with a fucking countdown. 10, 9, 8, on and on and on and on and on. Do a fucking countdown. Didn't have the number one moment, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit would work. See, I'm telling y'all this before somebody else does it that don't look like you. See, a normal channel holder could do that shit. You know, it'll be bullshit to come along with it. That's why it's important not to even say nothing, to even give an opinion on shit as you present those things that way. And just do the top 10 moments. Somebody could do a fucking award show in December going into the new year. Give an award for not, you know, physical award, but, you know, just a little minor award show. Roaster of the year. Biggest L of the year. Will it make everybody happy? No. But this shit will work. This shit would work. I'm just telling y'all. And this is free. I'm giving it away for free. This shit would work. Look at what fucking Buddy Lee did the other night. Usually I don't say nobody's name, but look what fucking Buddy Lee did on his show the other night. And a lot of people would hate on what the fuck he did over there. But that was something different, and that was something a lot of people never saw before. People can make jokes about and then you never get there and it's just on the screen or whatever. He had women up there, men up there, men with robes on, women with very attractive women with their lingerie or whatever they chose to have on. And people danced. And they played music and they talked. You never seen no shit like that before. That was dope. He could do that every fucking Saturday. That's what you call being creative. It's a couple of y'all it is. The people make fun of the little shit that Vic does on his channel with the wrestling shit, where he makes the wrestling characters out of the people in the sector and he have them wrestle. It's a dope fucking idea. What are y'all talking about? Y'all make fun of the wrong shit. Y'all make fun of the wrong shit. And I can go on and on and on and on and on with 150 million different ideas that I think of all the time when I see this shit around here. I got a lot of them. Capo hear him all the fucking time. She probably tired of hearing them by now. I just think like that. But again, think about this. Now, I'm gonna get out of here, but I'm just saying, it is publishing in this shit. And when I tell you, they're figuring out ways to get publishing off of what we all do every single day that we don't technically own. That if y'all don't understand what the fuck is going on and get y'all leverage up, fuck that check that YouTube give you the 21st of each month. And I don't mean it figuratively, because it might be working for you. You might actually need that. So for the people that actually need it, everybody can't say no to a bag. I understand that. So that's not my message, because everybody can't do that. But sometimes, if you can wait, what's going to end up coming out of this, going towards the future, if us creators don't start understanding what the fuck is going on, when they start developing these ways to make more money off of what you do, you will not be in the loop. You got to be, and you got to understand that you can be involved of the streaming revenue, which the real money that's coming from the advertisers. It's a lot of money. Anybody that knows anybody that works for advertisement firm or anything like that, or anybody that's a director of something, a director of a fucking business or some shit like that, or a CEO, you ask them how much they pay for marketing. Ask them how much they pay for marketing. Ain't no fucking small number. And you think about when you looked at that little agreement that you made to be monetized with this shit, you think about what they said you're going to get. You can only imagine what they get. And I'm just saying, within business, you're never going to get exactly what the actual platform is going to get. But if you put yourself in position to have leverage, and it's a group with power, with merchandise, everybody within that group is doing their own everything. Somebody that's good at intros and outros is taking care of that. Somebody that's good at editing is taking care of that. Somebody that's making the fucking merchandise for everybody is good at that. And all that shit is staying with inside those group of people. Get the fuck out of here. You can control this whole shit. Fuck is we talking about? But y'all don't see it though. Y'all don't see it. It's a whole bunch of little clicks and shit already around here. If y'all work the shit right. If y'all work it right, you can be in a lot more control of shit than you think. And you'll be the important part. You'll be able to take that anywhere. You'll be able to take that show anywhere. Take a platform like Caffeine, a young platform, which was originally for gamers and shit like that. And now they getting more in the realm of entertainment, and they starting to put money behind battle rap. But what they need is more creators. And they want more creators. So their program is a little bit different. They don't get no money from you. You go over there, you go live, and if people buy, when people buy the little things that they can put up to talk to you or whatever, that money goes to you. You can't cash it out until it get to a certain amount, but that money goes to you. See, if people really understood what was going on over there, but see, the problem is, the only problem with what Caffeine does over there is it's only for live content. So if people can't catch it when it's live, they missed it. It's no watching the replay. But if you can cultivate to get people to come over there, it'll change and have a whole different narrative on there. And it's a whole lot of these places. It's a whole lot of them. Like I've been doing the podcast shit for a while. I've been on a lot of different other platforms doing the podcast shit. I always get denied for some reason. I still ain't figured out why the fuck I always get denied. I'm gonna figure that shit out one day. I have no idea. But I always get denied for my shit to go on. Like I was on I can't think of the name of that shit. But I probably did like 2 or 3 podcasts on that shit. I did a show about Monique when that shit was going on. That did really well, even though people hated what I had to say. But it was just the truth. She could have bet on herself. Fuck Netflix. Fuck them. Why do we do shit like that? Like she could have bet on herself. She could have done her own and it agitates me every time I think about it. All right, y'all only want to give me 500,000. Y'all think that I'm not worth this based on that. Okay, all right, I'm gonna show y'all what the fuck I can do on my own. And then when y'all come back around to try to get me again, when y'all come back around to try to get me again, I got real leverage because now I got data and proof. Fuck is we talking about? We don't be thinking, man. We don't see the vision properly. And again, I'm not saying I got this whole shit figured out. One of y'all might see it differently than me and be able to take it somewhere I would never take it at. But I'm sharing this information for a reason. Because it might spark something in somebody that'll change something for every creator, especially every black creator. Because right now, we got a fucking voice no matter how big or small your channel is. You got a fucking voice. Now, if you can cultivate that shit into power. See, we like to go into a lot of different spaces and ask for something, and ask to be treated some type of way, and ask to be treated equal. If you have no power, how can you be equal to something with power? Just sit on that for a minute. How? Same way with being intelligent. How? If intellectually somebody is more intelligent than you, and you're not, you dumb, and I hate using that word, but you're ignorant to whatever it is, how are you going in? How is that equal? If you have no knowledge of it and they have all of it, how is that equal? So if you're not trying to gain the information, then what the fuck are you doing? People like to run around and say all this shit about purpose. You know what the fuck my purpose is? My purpose is to actually tell my people that you can do this shit your fucking way. You can do this shit and cultivate power for creators before they figure this shit out. You can actually make real revenue off of doing this shit, and not just from here. Not just from here. From all of them. From all of them. See, that's the fuck shit. Because see, you go into agreement with these motherfuckers, you can't take this channel nowhere. You don't own the channel. You own your content, though. So if you got show names, you can lease that show out any fucking where. Have power. Have your own fucking website. That show can be there any fucking where. You have a fucking app. It could be any fucking where. But anyway, I done held y'all up long enough. Y'all done heard what Capo here a lot of the goddamn time for me anyway. And anybody else that knows me. That's why a friend of mine sent me that clip of Joe. I'm just saying, some of us see this shit a little bit differently. You know, some of y'all are not genuine about the reason why y'all here and the reason why y'all do this. Y'all try to make it out to be about some grand, big cause. And it really can be about a grand, big cause. I'm not here to be no fake leader. I'm not here to be none of that shit. I'm here to pass on information and talk about whatever the fuck I feel like talking about. That's why the fuck I'm on here. It's therapeutic for me. And in the process of that, I get to share shit with people. And hopefully they can learn from some of the shit that I say and some of the research that I do. The research, y'all can ask Capo. The other night, I think it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Hour before, told Capo I was going to bed. I ran across something that I needed to share with somebody. I sent it to her. This was an hour after I said I was going to bed. My brain works like that. Like I don't just get on here and talk about that shit. Like that's really just the way that I am. It's really just the way that I am. And she can contest to this shit. Like dead ass. This is the way that I am. This ain't no act, no front, no none of that. Now I'm giving to y'all some of the shit that I think about. And if some of y'all can implement it, I would love to see the shit work. I would love to see it work because we have leverage right now because they haven't figured this shit out yet. They haven't, but they being sneaky. They being sneaky because they damn sure getting publishing. They damn sure publishing the shit that we're doing because at the end of the day, it's entertainment and it's words and they're getting publishing for it. And a lot of people are starting to figure it out. And that means if they can get publishing for it, guess who else can? We can. We can get publishing for it if they coming up with ways to get publishing for it. Own your shit, protect your shit. For the real creators, for my real creators out there. Hey, salute, Rain. How you doing? Thank you for coming by. See, and again, I want to thank y'all, everybody that come by and actually listen to whatever the fuck it is that I'm talking about on that particular day, depending on what mood I'm in for what show that I'm doing at that particular time. For everybody that's been here since I started this shit, the original 44 people that was fucking with me, that continues to fuck with me, that I can see almost every time I look at my numbers. See, a lot of people can have way, way bigger numbers than I have, right? But what I look at is faithfully. It's the people that fuck with me. They support what the fuck I do. And I see that in the numbers. That's what I see. And I really, really appreciate that for all the new people that just recently subscribed in the last 2 or 3 days. Salute. Thank you. All the real brothers that have came by this page, that have reached out, that have said, that have saluted me, appreciate it. That is recognized and real, recognized real all day long. And see, that's why a couple of y'all ain't got no, that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, thank y'all. I appreciate it. I hope some of y'all think about what I said. Just think about it. Don't rush. Don't rush into that contract with Google. Don't rush into being monetized. Just really read that agreement. Really read it. I read the whole fucking thing. And as Dice would say, it's a fucking 360 deal. See, see what I just did there? See what I just did there, right? Brother of mine says something, and I say, just like my brother Dice say, it's a 360 deal. I didn't try to present it like I made shit up. I said like my brother say. Same thing when I use something that my brother T History says all the time. You got to know when to get out of the car. He says that all the time. I always reference him if I want to use it. If I decide to use it. Granted, he always get wrong the person who actually gets out the car, but that's my homie though. Who's saying? And it makes sense. Anyway, think about it. Hopefully some people who in a whole different position than me can put it into effect. I just know that a lot of us, small to medium content creators, as people like to call us, baby channels, um, we can build leverage and move accordingly. We can. We can do this. You got more power than you believe you do, especially starting out. You actually got more power than the bigger ones who's monetized. And at a later time, I'll explain how next time. I honestly will. I will explain how next time, but you do. You just do. They don't realize they gave up a lot of their leverage once they became monetized. Which again, I'm not saying that I'm against becoming monetized. I'm only saying should wait, shouldn't rush to be monetized. Like as soon as you get to that 1,000, you shouldn't rush. And it's and understand one more thing. And I said this before. I said this before. Another message to the rest of my content creators, whether friend or foe. Understand what you're doing. And I said this before, but I want to say it again. I want to make sure that I'm clear when I say this. Understand what you're doing when you flag somebody that does what you do. And I'm going to relate it back to the battle rap culture again. Battle rap culture within this realm of YouTube been around for 10 years. It will actually be 10 years, October 31st. It's the birthday of URL. In the beginning, when people first started doing blogs and shit like that, they was all beefing with each other. And anybody that was a fan of the culture around that time and for the last few years, y'all know that what I'm saying is true. They was beefing with each other. They was flagging each other channels. They was doing all kinds of fuck shit. The culture grew. What they did didn't grow. One person grew quicker than the rest. That was the person that wasn't participating in that shit because he wasn't getting knocked back to the back of the algorithm. He was growing with the culture. As the culture grew, he grew also because the algorithm was pushing him along with the culture. Everybody else didn't start to grow until they stopped engaging with each other and meaning flagging each other channels and shit like that down. They still throw shots at each other here and there and shit like that, but they started to understand how this shit work. And see, it's okay to be in competition with each other. It's nothing wrong. We all competitive in our own way. We all competitive. But when you start doing that, you also pushing everybody else that does that type of content because a lot of y'all are related because y'all put each other's names in the titles of your video. So the algorithm groups y'all together. So when you flag the other one, and they didn't push that one back based upon whatever that flag, you're going with it. Your content is going to the back of the algorithm with it. I'm dead ass when I say this. You can, whatever. Y'all ain't gotta believe me. It's just the truth. I gave some free game. I don't know. I might do this again. I don't know. Might give you the rest of the shit that I be thinking of. But just Honestly, just look at it. Just think about it for any of you channel holders. It was for all of y'all. It was This was strictly for channel holders. Whether y'all fuck with me, don't fuck with me, whatever. Um, I was trying to give y'all something that hopefully each and every one of y'all can apply or use in your own way. You know what I mean? And everybody to stop by, appreciate y'all. I'll give a quick shout out real quick. Murph was here. I know Murph had to go to work, but salute to you, Murph. Always here. Now I'm at the wrench Murph up. Murph always here. Yesterday when I was live, Murph was like here like the whole time. I was the only person here. Capo, as always. Miss Evelyn, always salute. I appreciate you so much. Miss Evelyn has become like concierge, a spiritual advisor. Miss Evelyn always, her quotes and her messages to me and emails to me that's positive. I want to say those always help, and I read every last one of them. I honestly do. I really appreciate you for that. I honestly do. I really do. Who else was here? The Young King Studi was here. People, please support what that young brother is doing over there. Please. Like we gotta support shit like that. We have to support shit like that. We say a lot of shit about the young generation, but really they on here doing this shit the right way. There's a lot of us that's doing and involved in the fuck shit. And before I go, I'm gonna speak on this. I have typically I don't speak on shit that I see or shit that run across and all that shit. I don't usually speak on other channel holders and all that shit. But everybody is aware of the situation that happened with Bullets Gotti and what people heard that supposedly happened with his grandma. I'm not going to sit here and bash him or say whatever to him. I take his word for it that he settled that with he apologized and people say he hugged on Cam and all that, but that's not even what I want to talk about. Whenever you want to get through to a young man, because I used to be that young man. Everybody used to be that young man. I'm not talking about action wise. I'm just talking about the way people think. When you feel like somebody is coming at you, if you want to reach people, you also got to be able to listen to them. See, you can't talk down to people, even when they have made a mistake and even when they have done something that disgusts you. If your purpose is to help, then you need to listen. You need to listen so you can have insight and you can have understanding. Because see, when you give an advice to a situation that you don't understand what the situation is before you give the advice, you got to understand why the person is there in the first place. So the answer is saying just get up and go. No. That's not. Sometimes it's not the reason that people believe it is when somebody is still at home with a parent. It's not always the reason that people believe it is. And this is coming from somebody that's been out on their own since they was 17. Now, my mom was sick. I tried to get my mom to move in with me 1,000 times. The only reason why she did it is because that she didn't do it is because she was in Baltimore and I was in Virginia. She's so comfortable being at home. She didn't want to leave Baltimore City. But I wish she was with me during that time. Now, granted, my aunt was able to be there with her that entire time, so it made it a little more comfortable for me because her being her age with her illnesses that she had and her never wanting to be in any of one of them places because she worked in a nursing home for many, many years. She wasn't going to none of them places. She's gonna stand 10 toes down, whether she was gonna be there by herself or somebody was gonna be there with her. I was glad my aunt was able to do that for her. And and my ex-wife, we moved her mother and my former mother-in-law in with us because when people reach a certain age, they should be they should be around people. And sometimes within the environment, that shit happens for that reason only. And I know a lot of people that's the reason behind it, especially when it's a woman and that person is on their own. They out there by themselves. It'd be the same way if my ex-wife wasn't remarried. I would want my son to be there with her to make sure she good. There's somebody there to protect her. Like, you never know. You just never know. But in the process that when you can't talk down to. You got to actually talk to. You have to gain some sort of understanding. It doesn't matter how everybody perceives whatever that situation is. Again, you only seeing or hearing a few minutes of YouTube or what somebody present to you on there. When it comes to a situation like that, like, you can feel however you feel about that particular person, but understand that it's a little more to certain shit than what people believe it is from the onset of it. And that's what I said about that. But when you're trying to reach and talk to and supposedly school and drop jewels on, it got to be done in a certain way. Else they'll never get it. They'll never grasp onto it. And homie didn't say nothing wrong to him. And I'll indulge. I'll say names for a minute. The shit that was sent to me was Bullis Gotti was over on Grown Folks TV. And he was having a conversation with him about what happened with him and his grandmother. Now, he didn't say CX 1400 didn't say anything wrong. Everything that he said to him was right. The only thing that I would say is when you're doing that, if you to reach the person and the purpose is to actually help the person, is you actually also got to listen also. Everything ain't about the show. If you're really trying to reach that person, you also have to let them, you have to hear them, have to let them talk. Because you can help them in what they saying. You can't help them if you don't understand. Especially when that person looks up to you. Because see, the part that hurt that person is that they felt like it was for the show. That's how they felt. I don't know whether it was or not, but that's how they felt. And that Bullets really, really looked up to you. For whatever reason. But as a young man, he did. At that moment, lost his respect. Not because of the way you talk to him. It was because you ain't allow him to speak. And when you don't allow somebody to have a voice, especially a young man or woman, they're going to take that some type of way. They're going to feel that type of way. All of us have been young before. Somebody outside the family is trying to. That's the one thing I can always say about everybody that was around me coming up. outside and inside, because I was really outside. I listened, right? But when it was time for me to speak, they allowed me to speak. They allowed me to speak. They allowed me to say my piece in order to, because a lot of times, this is where people get it twisted at. A lot of times when somebody is trying to give you something, it's not an excuse. It's trying to give you some understanding on why they feel the way that they feel about it. And that should always be a part of a conversation, regardless of whatever, regardless of what everybody done. If we all going to say people, it's redemption this and redemption that, everybody makes mistakes. And you have to hold yourself accountable also. You wouldn't allow somebody to speak to you that way, even if you was wrong, right? Think about that. Even if you was wrong, you wouldn't allow somebody to speak to you that way. Because all the time, you're not right in the exact. You do shit that's questionable. You say shit that's questionable. And if you even get an inkling that somebody about to not let you talk or do whatever, your reaction is a certain way. So think about how that young man felt. See, people don't think about shit that way. Because again, it should be about how everybody else feel. When it should have been about reaching him, if it was truly about helping. And again, this is coming from somebody that actually, used to, not so much no more, but used to actually deal with kids on a day-to-day basis when I worked for the government. When I worked for Charles County government, we had kids that did community service for whatever charges they was fighting, and they did them at our facility, and I was in charge of those kids. And I realized that within dealing with those kids, I had to talk to those kids and interact with those kids a certain way. And all of them you couldn't talk to the same. Some of them I had to talk to a little bit differently than others. Some of them I would just, and I told this story before, so I'm not going to tell it. I used to get all of them every Friday. I would get everybody lunch, including the guys, but especially the kids. And I would get pizza or whatever they wanted, and I would go down the line and ask everybody what they wanted based upon how they worked. There was this one kid, he had an attitude. He didn't want to do shit. He didn't want to get, and I did give him some fuck shit to do. I ain't gonna front, because he pissed me off. I gave him some fuck shit to do. I told him to do some shit that wasn't even a job to do. Ain't nobody else know that, but fuck, I'm the fuck manager. I say the fuck I want to say, right? I told him get in the recycling bin and take all the plastic tops off of all the plastic bottles. That is not a job. I just wanted him to do the shit because he was getting on my nerves. He got in there, he did a couple, and he said, "This some bullshit. I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing this shit. I'm gonna call my mom." He called his mom. His mom leaned on him, of course, and then asked to speak to me. I told her, I said, if he don't do the shit, then you done wasted your $50 or $60 that you done paid the people, because I'm gonna send his ass home. He started to act right, and then I didn't feed him that Friday. And I told the other part of the story before. I'm not going to tell the rest of it. But when I got through to him, as me and him started speaking, I got through to him, was through respect. It was about respect. It wasn't about talking down to him. It's about talking to him and then actually listening to him. And then talking some more. You know what I mean? Now, he had a solid foundation. So what he ended up doing and becoming, I'll never take responsibility for, because if he ain't never had those traits in the first place and ain't never had the type of mother that he had, he probably would have never went off and ended up doing the things that he ended up doing, or any one of the other kids that was there. And all of them didn't end up being in good situations, but the few that did, I played a small role in that. And a couple of the other guys did as well. But you also learn how to cultivate those relationships and how to actually speak to them. And speaking down never works. It never will. It's not going to work with any man or any woman. But I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much for he doesn't have what you had first. But Miss Evelyn crazy. I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to lay down a little bit. I ain't feeling good at all. But I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming by this morning, being a part of this episode of Critical Thinking. The next one, I'll be back to the case study that we was doing a little while ago. Just haven't done it because I ain't had time. But I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to leave y'all like I always leave y'all with an intro. And I feel like a laugh. So I'm going to play my favorite episode of the Boondocks again before I get out of here. Hopefully y'all find it as funny as I do. I believe it's hilarious. I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows. And this is one of my favorite episodes.
Just mad cause your ass is old, motherfucker. First thing you do is just pick up the phone. Jackson living next to your home. Motherfucking grandpa, old nigga, it's a
old motherfucker. Lethal interjection versus what? Old nigga. He picked up the phone, now my fingers on the trigger. Snitching ain't the thing to do, so now me and my crew gonna show the.
Yeah, you're only making things much, much worse.
Oh, hush, boy. I can rap. Big Tank. Please make it hot, player. Yeah, this rap go out to Punk-nificent in all his fame. Yeah. Oh, punk-ass Nificent never went to high school. That's why he's a mother fool. Mama was a fool. Daddy was too. Wanna be like Thug-nificent, don't go to school, fool. Yeah.
This motherfucker went to YouTube? No,
They said it was all about knowledge.
This is funny. I don't care nobody say, but all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Remember, information, knowledge, and wisdom is nothing without imagination. Salute. I'm out of here. Appreciate y'all. Might see y'all later. I don't know.
They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get.